Good day to you peeps, Liesl here once more, and today I am coming to us all with the very latest bits between the bits progress update. Yeah, so less blather and straight in. And the two projects with which we will start today, actually, I sound like a school teacher, don't I, or something like that. The two things we're concerned with today anyway are our latest projects and our ongoing projects, which is basically the, it still reminds me more of an old London bus. The sort they used to have with an open top, you know, for tourists, right? And they've got the old black and white number plates. If you're a certain age and from the UK, or if you visited the UK at a certain time, you will understand what I mean. But anyway, I am blathering, so here we go. Yes. Now, we have got to a certain stage with these. It might not seem very much, but actually I've done quite a bit of work on these. There were some pitfalls as we are working with these old boxes. This one started to sort of come apart, right? But don't worry, because I have managed to repair it. Now, I did have reservations about having the plate already attached to the lid of the box. I thought, should I do that at the end really? But I'm glad that I did, because it kept the sort of lid together. We did discover quite a bit of cardboard material, and I will get a bit closer to the camera for this so you can see what's going on. In the top, so we can get a slight better angle than that, of the lid. Right, so there's the lid. Yeah. Basically, when I was cutting out the slots in the lid, which side was it? It was this side. These two came adrift. Yeah, I found that they were held in with these two tiny little pins, and the glue had sort of dried out quite a bit on these. But not a problem, I stuck them back. It's not absolutely perfect, as you can see. But then neither's this old London bus. So I thought, that's fine. I have cut this, let me speak properly. One of these days I will get my words out, I swear. So we have cut all the slots now to receive the neck. There you go. That's the hinge end, which is going to be at the front. I don't know if it will still open, but if it does, it will be that way. That will remain to be seen. Here's the neck. I have added a little chock on the bottom there, because I'm going to shape this part so it still looks quite rough at the moment. Yep. And I've put a little wee kind of gasket in there just to keep everything nice and solid. And that does look nice once it's all sanded. You can see the glue needs sanding off. But there's our basic blank. Holes are drilled. I can't remember how far we got with this last time actually. But there's the holes for the pegs. And it will all fit together. I'm going to get the best angle here. If I can get it the right way around, that is. That's why it's off camera, you see. the usual folly. But anyway, here we go. And that will sit on there like that. Now you can see there is something of a gap, because the neck on this one needs to be slammed. Yes, that's what I call it. Slammed. In other words, if you are a car enthusiast, you will know that means lowered. Yeah. Let me explain. We need to take a small amount of material out of here, which we will do in the usual manner by cutting many slots, taking that out, and that will give us the depth then that we need, as we are going to put a triple piezo in the, well, yeah, I suppose it's the heel really on this one, in the top of the heel. and I haven't decided yet whether to have the jack coming from the front there or out the back. I think it would be quite nice to have it here actually, if it works out, because that would just, I don't know, with the silver I think it'd go well. There we go. Starting to take shape. Yeah, I did try to find an old-fashioned kickstart for this, but I couldn't find one anywhere, not for love or money, so well, we'll see. We will see, absolutely. So that's basically the next phase for this one. I may well put the hinges back in there just to give it a bit of stability, and because it does look nice. I've no real idea about the scale length on this yet. No, it is very experimental, as we know. Experimental, or maybe just mental. I'm not really sure, but I'll let you decide. Okay, peeps. Yeah, so I have been quite busy with this today. Not only this, but also Gemma, who is our restoration piece. Yes, and once more, I have gone slightly back to the drawing board, as often I do, as you know, 2 or 3 times. I will explain that in a moment, actually. Yeah, because I found a better option. Yeah, and I will explain why now, actually. So I'm quite pleased with this, so I'll just flash it around a bit more. Right, there you go. Yes, build a cigar box guitar. Build a cigar box guitar. There you go. I'm in a funny mood today, alright. Yeah, nothing new there. So, moving on to Gemma. Yeah, as you know, she is a long-term project, something of a labour of love. Yes, I know at the moment she does appear to be still nothing but a neck. But, as luck would have it, and providence, and by the grace of God, I did rediscover this box. Yeah, which I'm now going to use instead of the Cohiba for a variety of reasons. I'd forgotten that I had this box, and when I basically went through the stack of boxes, I found this nestling at the bottom. So from the top, it is a Reserva JG Special, Jamie Garcia, and do forgive my pronunciations, limited edition cigars box. And it's My Father cigars, which again are amongst my favourite boxes. The reason I was delighted actually to find this, yeah, is because it's just the right depth. Yeah, which means we don't have to add any additional supports or anything like that. Yeah, hopefully this will all fit together nicely. I've not measured it this way yet to see what kind of proportions we have, but I've got a good feeling that this is going to fit together quite nicely. There are nice rounded corners, and it's quite slim, like the walls of the box are quite slim. So I am hoping that we will get quite a nice resonance on this. We are in my bedroom today. There's just no room anywhere at the moment. If you could see the stack of gitties and boxes in the sound lab, you would understand, but I didn't want you to see that really. No, it's a right mess in there. So moving swiftly on anyway. So yeah, I will be continuing with this one. Right, as you can see, we have done a bit more work on the heel. Started to shape that underneath, and there you go, that sort of rounded shape. I'm going to continue that slightly and then I would say about that much will be protruding from the front of the box. It's got a short little heel there, but I will show you at a later date what we do with that. You can see there are several layers of wood. I started taking the side of that neck down slightly because this was my original prototype and I didn't really do a lot in finishing her too well, you know. Yes, in the comments we've had a lot of chat, haven't we, and talk this week about having a plan B, a contingency plan, you know, this sort of thing. I think that's always a good idea with these because, you know, you may need to change tack many times. As I've often said, I think you end up with something better. Or as I did, you know, you might just discover that you've still got this box, which is so much better. Yeah, she is going to be an acoustic this time because you did not like the electrics last time. A lot of the original box was packed with electrics and stuff. And I think we'll get a much nicer sound just having acoustic. I replaced the dodgy frets. Now, yes, I know all the frets on this are dodgy, okay? It's the first time I did frets. I think the heights might vary slightly, but she always sounded okay, so I'm not going to worry about that personally. You can see I still need to trim the edge on the frets, the ones I replaced. Yeah, and we're going to file those down. But this fingerboard is also slightly wider, ever so slightly, than the neck underneath, which is brilliant because we're going to take that all nice and flush. And once the frets are filed, a couple more adjustments on the neck, I think we'll have something quite nice. And I am going to, or at least my intention is to introduce ever such a slight back angle on her because I think we'll get a nice sound if we do that. I really do. So yeah, I was very pleased to find this box. And I'm looking forward to continuing with this one. I do think, reinforce the corners on here. I think that would be a wise thing to do and a nice touch. And also in the lid. And I think what I might do differently this time is to introduce a couple of little supports in the sides to make a neck pocket. Yeah, which will keep that nice and steady. And I think I am going to basically do that before I cut the slots so that we've got it all nicely lined up. Yeah, nothing splitting, because quite often once you've cut the slots inside, then the box starts to bow outwards and it lifts from the bottom. And where you've got quite a slim bottom like this one, yeah, that can kind of go like that. I hope you know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean. I don't think I could explain that any further. So yeah, basically in the interests of stability, and it will be explained in the next video, which will be a continuation of these two instruments, I do believe. Yeah, it should all make a little bit more sense. Yes. I would like to thank everyone who commented on the last video, which was our Quaint England points of historical interest, where we did visit the windmill at New Bradwell. Some lovely comments. I'm so glad that you appreciated that video. Yeah, I know it was a little bit late, but you see, it rained solid for about 7 days, and I totally did overlook the obvious there. But I was saying, oh yes, we'll go and film this tomorrow or in a couple of days. It was about 8 days later, yeah, but then that was the first day we had without rain. It's about a 2 or 3 mile bike ride, and I thought, no, there's no point in getting wet, you know, and then having a soggy Liesel doing the historical interest video. So there that is. But it has sparked my interest because if you saw that video, we did mention the Grand Junction Canal. Yeah, and I've been doing a bit of research on the Grand Junction Canal. It was actually conceived of, should I say, by Isambard Kingdom Brunel. Yeah. Now, I remember learning about him at school and kind of almost falling asleep as we did history, the Industrial Revolution in the UK, which was incredibly boring. But not the subject itself. Some years later, is no longer with us, but a very famous British animator. And if you grew up in the UK, anywhere between the sort of 70s and the 90s, I'm sure you probably would remember Bob Godfrey. He did all these children's animations, as well as other things. Rhubarb and Custard was one. Yeah, Henry's Cat, I think he did. Yeah. Oh, and there were several others that he did, you know. Yeah, I was surprised actually how many of them were by him. But he actually did a film in 1975 called Great. And it was kind of lampooning Great Britain as it was then known. In the era of the Industrial Revolution, so from about the late 1790s, I would say, or the late 1700s into the early 1800s. It's worth a watch, actually. I found it on YouTube, you see, because when I originally saw it, it was on a kind of season of celebrating animators. And this was in the days when we didn't have basically social media. Yeah, it was back in the 90s. And I always wanted to watch this film again. Yeah, I won't go on about it too much because it's a bit hard to describe. But if I remember right, Isambard Kingdom Brunel, you know, he was a very short guy with a very tall hat. Yeah, and he did some amazing innovations. And I thought, Isambard Kingdom Brunel, what a man. You know, when you sort of see all these things that he devised, innovated, and if I do remember right, he didn't really see much of it come to fruition. It was literally on his deathbed when I think one of his steamships sank in a harbour somewhere, and then he died, and he passed away. Can I say that on YouTube? And then he was unalived by God, and he passed away. But then everything he created took off, and I think his son basically took over. Yeah, and sort of saw the glory of all these things, if memory serves me. But yeah, basically you can see that my nerdy interest has been sparked. So I've decided next we are going to do the Grand Junction Canal on Quaint England. Yeah, and it might even be a two-parter because I think there are one or two places that I would like to show us on that video. So yeah, bits between the bits. And for everyone who enjoys this little series, there it is. Yeah, that's what I intend to do. It's chucking it down with rain and blowing an absolute gale today here in England. So I did hope to probably do this weekend, but the weather's not looking good. So as soon as we get some decent weather, I will go down and film that. But I have put together a few notes for this, so hopefully it will be interesting. And I'm certainly looking forward to doing that. Yeah, so I hope we all are. And so really, there it is. Yeah, that is it for now. I thought I would bring this extra special mid-build progress update, bits between the bits, because it seemed to fit nicely. Oh, one last thing. There's the hole that we filled with our magical wood filler. There was a drill hole in there, and you can see I haven't made it look pretty because it's going to be inside the box, but I wanted you to see that it does actually create a nice firm, yeah, stop for that. I will continue working on the shape of the neck, get the sides sorted, get the frets sorted, new pegs. Like I say, this one's quite a work in progress really. It's ongoing, but it is a good way to practice, you know, if you keep going on your previous builds, upgrading them, changing bits, or if they fail, rebuilding them, yeah, and just cobbling them back together, really. I think that is a good way of learning. And like I always say, we learn from each other and we learn along the way. You all gave me some very good tips in the comments over the last few videos, and I am ever so appreciative, yeah, because I do put these things into action, and yeah, it does basically help me to grow this channel, as well as people watching and subbing, liking and all that sort of thing. Our very latest subscribers, thank you ever so much for subscribing to this channel. As you know, you are part of this community. As soon as you're watching a video, really, I really do appreciate it, because the more the merrier. It does help me to come up with more things for the channel, like the Quaint England, which many of you did say you appreciated. So I thought, yeah, it's time I did a couple more of those videos. They were probably the summer before last, was when I last did that. But I remember last summer was pretty lousy weather here anyway. We're coming towards the end of February though, and it is very windy. We do say here Mad March because of the weather. And it looks like we're going to have Mad March weather, which is good, because the temperature is at least getting warmer, even though it's very wet. And yeah, so I'm hoping plenty of good content to come. Yeah, so there it is. And I will leave it there. And that does leave only for me to say, as ever, wherever you are, do stay safe. Whatever you're doing, do stay blessed. And whatever life brings, keep building. Okay then, pips, I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now then. Bye.